does not arrive as a sudden collapse, but as a silent, glowing dissolve. Look upon the screen. It is a mirror made of melted sand, cold and flat. Yet within its shallow frame, an infinite wilderness of phantoms runs rampant. We have built a glass palace, and inside its walls we have crowned a new sovereign. It is not a king of blood and iron, but a parasite of light. It is the digital manifestation of lust, no longer a simple human failing, but a vast, decentralized machine of engineered arousal, designed to consume the sacred architecture of the human soul. In the old times, the monk stood in the stone cell, facing the concrete silence of the wall. The wall was severe, but it was honest. It promised nothing. It demanded only presence, endurance, and the slow, heavy work of introspection. Today, the modern cell is illuminated by the blue-gray hum of the screen. This screen does not offer silence. It offers an endless, scrolling procession of flesh. It offers the image of the human form, stripped of its weight, stripped of its mystery, and translated into a stream of glowing pixels. This is the first deception of the glass palace, the illusion of abundance. You are told that you are looking at beauty. You are told that you are participating in a celebration of the human form, a liberation from the dark constraints of the past. But this is a lie of the marketplace. The screen does not liberate the flesh, it liquidates it. It takes that which was meant to be a temple, a singular, sacred presence hidden within the sanctuary of mutual recognition, and turns it into a commodity to be scrolled, rated, and discarded in a fraction of a second. The rampage of lust on social media is not a rampage of freedom, but a rampage of capture. Every image is a hook, every interface is a funnel. The algorithms do not care about your joy, nor do they care about your connection. They care only about the frequency of your gaze. They measure the microseconds your thumb hesitates over a curve of skin. They log the dilation of your pupils. They feed upon your hunger, and they build a map of your vulnerabilities, refining the code so that the next image is slightly more potent, slightly more addictive, slightly more hollow. We have allowed our attention, the most sacred currency of the human mind, to be harvested by machine intelligence. And the bait is always the same, the phantom of the flesh. We stand before the glass not as masters, but as cattle, waiting for the next spark of digital dopamine to light up our nerves. Let us inspect the structure of the corruption. Lust in the digital age is not merely an excess of desire. It is a system of artificial scarcity disguised as infinite choice. In the physical world, desire is bound by reality. It is limited by geography, by time, by the heavy constraints of mutual consent, and by the natural limits of human stamina. In the digital world, these constraints are abolished. The screen offers an infinite scroll. There is no bottom to the page. There is no end to the queue. You can look upon 1,000 bodies before the sun sets, and another 1,000 before it rises. But this infinite choice is a phantom, because you do not touch the bodies, you do not hear their breath, you do not look into eyes that look back at you with the burden of shared existence. You look only at a glass screen, you consume only the light. This is the second deception, the separation of the image from the weight. When you look at the depiction of lust on social media, you are looking at a hyperreal caricature. It is an image that has been filtered, smoothed, posed, and optimized. It is a body that does not exist in 3 dimensions. It is a sculpture of light designed by an algorithm to trigger the ancient, instinctual pathways of your brain. It bypasses your intellect. It bypasses your heart. It strikes directly at the base of the skull, demanding attention, demanding reaction, demanding tribute in the form of a double tap, a view, a comment, a subscription. The parasite has built a temple where the idols are made of code. Consider the platforms. They are designed as digital colosseums. The creators of these images are not free. They are prisoners of the metric. They must pose, they must strip, they must modify their own physical reality to satisfy the cold demands of the algorithm. If they hesitate, if they cover themselves, if they seek to speak of deeper things, the machine punishes them. Their reach drops, their revenue declines. They are cast out of the digital city into the outer darkness of non-recommendation. Thus, the machine forces the human creator creator to become an idol of lust. It hollows them out, turning them into a polished vessel of simulation. And it forces the consumer to become a ghost, wandering through a graveyard of empty forms, forever reaching out to touch that which is only light on glass. This is the rampage. It is a slow, systemic degradation of our capacity for reverence. When everything is exposed, nothing is sacred. When every body is public, the very concept of the private sanctuary is destroyed. We have turned our social spaces into a neon-lit bazaar where the human soul is traded for fractions of a cent, and we call it connection. There is a philosophy of the hidden. The ancient builders of cathedrals understood that light is only beautiful when it is contrasted with shadow. They did not illuminate the entire interior with flat, bright light. They built deep arches, dark vaults, and narrow windows. They understood that the sacred requires a boundary. To enter the presence of the holy, you must cross a threshold. You must leave the noisy street behind. You must step into the gloom and let your eyes slowly adjust to the faint gleam of the altar. The screen has no shadow, it has only backlighting. It is flat, uniform, and aggressive. It drags everything out into the open. Lust is the enemy of the hidden. It demands total exposure. It demands that the veil be torn away, not to reveal truth, but to satisfy curiosity. On the social media feed, there are no thresholds. You scroll from a war zone to a cooking video, and then to a hypersexualized dance, and then to an advertisement for a consumer product. Everything is placed on the same level. Everything is given the same weight. The sacred human form is sandbagged between trash and commerce. This is the desecration. When the human body is exposed to the infinite gaze of the crowd, it loses its singular gravity. It becomes a pixelated unit of consumption. The youth of today are taught that their value is equivalent to the number of eyes they can attract. They are instructed by the design of the platforms to turn themselves into objects of desire. They learn to view their own flesh through the cold lens of the camera, optimizing their angles, smoothing their skin, and presenting a curated, sexualized avatar to the global market. They believe they are powerful. They believe they are in control of their own depiction, but they are merely feeding the machine. The power belongs to the platform. The control belongs to the database. The creator receives the crumbs of attention, while the platform owners harvest the raw data of human desire, packaging it and selling it to the highest bidder. We have lost the ability to keep things hidden. We have forgotten that intimacy is built on exclusion. If everyone can see you, then no one truly knows you. If your image is distributed to 1 million strangers, it cannot be given as a gift to the one. We have traded the deep, quiet waters of true union for the shallow, muddy puddle of public validation. The mascot stands in the shadow of the concrete pillar, witnessing this digital carnival. He does not participate, he does not weep, he simply observes the collapse. He sees the young men sitting in the dark, their faces illuminated by the blue glare, their eyes glazed, their spirits withered by the constant barrage of synthetic arousal. He sees the young women trapped in the cycle of constant self-optimization, terrified of aging, terrified of being overlooked, selling their dignity in installments to buy the illusion of security. He knows that this cannot last. A society built on the infinite exploitation of base desire is a house built on sand. It will rot from the inside out, hollowed out by its own unsatisfied hunger. We are starving at an infinite buffet. The digital rampage of lust has created a psychological phenomenon, the phantom feast. It is a state of perpetual stimulation and perpetual dissatisfaction. In the natural order, desire is cyclical. You hunger, you eat, you are satisfied, and you rest. The satisfaction is real because the food is real. But the screen does not feed you. It only shows you pictures of food. When you scroll through the endless stream of sexualized media, your brain is flooded with dopamine, the neurotransmitter of anticipation, not of satisfaction. Dopamine does not say, "You have found what you were looking for." It says, "Keep looking, the next one will be better." So you scroll for 10 minutes, for an hour, for half the night. Your heart rate is elevated, your breathing is shallow, your body is tense, prepared for a physical encounter that will never happen. You are consuming a massive amount of evolutionary stimulus, but there is no resolution, there is no touch, there is no warmth, there is only the cold glass beneath your thumb. This is the loop of the phantom feast. It is designed to be addictive because an unsatisfied user is a returning user. If the platform ever allowed you to feel truly satisfied, you would put the phone down, you would go outside, you would build a house or plant a garden or talk to your neighbor. You would exit the digital economy. Therefore, the machine must ensure that you remain perpetually hungry. It must keep you in a state of low-grade, constant arousal, suspended between desire and frustration. The consequences of this loop are severe. It drains the creative energy of our generation. The energy that should be used to build monuments, to write books, to master crafts, and to defend the truth is instead dissipated into the ether of the network. It is ground down by the constant friction of digital lust. We have a generation of men who are passive, exhausted, and isolated, their masculine drive neutralized by the easy availability of pixelated women. We have a generation of women who are anxious, insecure, and competitive, their self-worth dependent on the changing whims of the algorithmic feed. This is the rampage of the parasite. It does not need to launch missiles or build prisons. It only needs to keep us looking at the screen. It wins by default when we surrender our attention. We have traded the temple for the projection room. Lust on social media has transformed the way we view the human person. It has replaced the person with the avatar. In the physical world, a person is a complex, heavy reality. They have a history, they have flaws, they have bad days, illnesses, and moods. They demand patience, they demand sacrifice. To love a real person is a disciplined, ascetic task. It requires you to step outside of your own ego, to accept their limitations, and to bear the burden of their existence. The digital avatar has no limitations. It has no bad days. It has no demands. When you devote your attention to the depictions of lust on the screen, you are practicing a disembodied devotion. You are falling in love with a projection. You can customize your feed to show you exactly what you want to see when you want to see it. If an avatar displeases you, if it speaks a word you do not like, if it shows a sign of human weakness, you can swipe it away instantly. There is no consequence. There is no conflict. This has ruined our capacity for real-world relationship. We go out into the physical world and we find that real people are messy. They do not have filters. They do not move at the speed of the scroll. They do not conform to the hyperreal archetypes we have grown accustomed to. They are slow, complicated, and demanding. And so we retreat. We retreat back to the safety of our glowing cells, back to the clean, sterile, controllable world of the digital phantom. We prefer the projection to the person. We prefer the slave of code to the free human being. This is the ultimate victory of the parasite, the total isolation of the individual. When we no longer need each other for connection, when we can satisfy our base drives through the solitary consumption of light, the social fabric dissolves. The family collapses, the community disintegrates, the church becomes empty. We are left as isolated nodes in a global network, connected by copper and fiber, but completely alone in the dark. The mascot stands in the courtyard of the ruined monastery. The concrete arches are cracked, but they still stand. The rain falls on the gray stone, washing away the dust. There are no screens here. There is only the sound of water hitting concrete, the smell of wet earth, and the cold weight of the air. He looks toward the distant city, where the sky is stained with the amber glow of 1,000,000 screens. He knows that the city is a prison, even if the prisoners believe they are free. He knows that the only way to escape the rampage of the parasite is to turn away from the glass, to step back into the shadow, to reclaim the weight of physical existence. How do we resist a parasite that is everywhere? We do not fight it by trying to reform the glass palace. We do not petition the platform owners to make their algorithms more moral. We do not write laws to police the scroll. The machine is built to exploit desire. It cannot do otherwise. To expect the platform to protect your soul is like expecting the wolf to guard the sheep. We fight it by building the ascetic shield. First, we must reclaim our attention. We must learn to put the phone down, to shut off the screen, and to sit in the quiet. Silence is the poison of the parasite. When you are silent, the machine cannot track you. When you are quiet, the algorithm has no data to harvest. We must rebuild our capacity for deep, uninterrupted focus. We must train our minds to resist the constant pull of the digital notification, reclaiming the discipline of the monastic scribe. Second, we must return to the concrete. We must prioritize the physical over the digital. Touch real stone, walk on real earth, talk to real people face to face with all the awkwardness, delay, and beauty that physical presence entails. We must refuse to allow our relationships to be mediated by the platform. If you love someone, go to them. If you wish to help someone, do it with your hands, not with a click. Third, we must cultivate the sacred hiddenness. Keep your life secret, keep your beauty hidden from the crowd. Refuse to turn your personal joys, your sorrows, and your body into content for the global market. Rebuild the boundary between the public street and the private sanctuary. Let there be areas of your soul that are known only to you and to the Creator. The mascot does not offer a cheap hope. He does not promise an easy victory. The rampage of digital lust will continue. The glass palace will grow larger, its lights brighter, its algorithms more seductive. The majority of mankind will willingly march into its halls, surrendering their freedom for the phantom feast. But you do not have to follow them. You can step out of the queue, you can turn your back on the screen, you can walk into the quiet, gray hall of concrete and stone. You can stand in the shadow of the pillar, small but free, holding the shield of discipline against the swarm of light. Welcome to the Order. The truth is silent. Reclaim your gaze.